The year 2024 is coming to a close and so many things happened. But what really stood out in 2024? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's recap. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only Coin Baron, and this video is sponsored by Wolfswap, the leading DEX aggregator on Cronos. But in this video, I want to recap all the major events of Crypto.com, Cronos, and a bit of the broader crypto market of 2024. So make sure you're strapped in by hitting the like button and getting ready for January 2024. The year started really strong for crypto, but especially Bitcoin, because on January 11th, the first spot Bitcoin ETF was approved. Initially, the Bitcoin ETF seemed to be a sell the news event, but it started recovering very quickly beginning February, not only for Bitcoin, but also for Cronos. You could really feel in the crypto community that hype was building up for the next bull cycle, especially also with the Bitcoin halving coming up later in the year. But more about that later. Other than that though, I would say that February was quite uneventful. With an exception though to this chart here, you could really see that the Cork AI token, guys, on the Cronos chain and on Crypto.com was getting quite some attention, because starting in February, really the volume was increasing more and more. And it also started with quite a rise towards a new all-time high in March. So in March, ladies and gentlemen, Cork AI reached the first 1 billion valuation for any Cronos token. So really quite the accomplishment. And also very important really for the next chapter of the Cronos chain, because this was the first meme to come, but definitely not the last. Also on the Cronos charts, you could see it was rising to a new yearly high at about 18 cents. But it wasn't as impressive as the rise in Bitcoin price, because from the lows at about 40k, it rose all the way to a new all-time high. A new all-time high at about 73k for just one Bitcoin. And that was special because it was the first time Bitcoin reached an all-time high before the actual Bitcoin halving. Another major event on the Cronos chain was the launch of the Crow with Knife meme coin on March 10th. And even though it is just a meme, it was really shaping up the Cronos chain as a whole, because it inspired other projects to also start. Like for example, Mary Coin, we got Ryoshi with Knife, and also Push, and probably a lot of others as well. You can also see that on DeFi Llama here, starting in March, really the total value locked on chain really easily doubled, and also really peaked here in April 11th. In April, we also completed the Bitcoin halving on April 20th. And on that day, Bitcoin was worth 64k, give or take. And even though that is still a very high price, also some cracks start to appear on the charts. As you can really see, that starting really from the Bitcoin halving, Bitcoin was showing some weakness. Cronos was also feeling the pressure and dumped about 40% in April. And after testing the 100-day simple moving average multiple times here, it also had to break below it in May. Even though the charts were looking bearish, Crypto.com continued breaking more and more records. For example here, Crypto.com surpasses 100 million global users, becoming one of the biggest crypto brokers really globally. This really came at a time where the first crypto users started hearing about Bitcoin again after breaking the all-time high, but also marketing paying off, for example with the F1 Miami race being very successful, and also with the Crypto.com Apple marketing deal right now, which is by the way active again. Moreover, in May, Cronos Labs introduced Cronos ZK AVM for the first time to the public, their new chain based on the ZK tech stack. Finally, in May, memes were still very hot on the Cronos chain, as you could see a last surge here in May. However, after that, the decline continued in June. With the summer about to start, we really started a summer lull period as well, with prices going down both for Bitcoin as well as for Cronos. And while that was happening, the Bitcoin dominance kept increasing as well in the month of June, but also in the month of July. June and July were really silent months, with maybe the only highlight being Push.fun going live on the Cronos chain. But okay, I think this is a great time to also remind you to hit the like button and subscribe for more Cronos related content. August started quite slow regarding news, but then a big announcement came from Crypto.com and the UEFA Champions League with their latest partnership. This news was definitely one of my personal favorites for 2024 because you could go to the whole of Europe, visit the most beautiful stadiums and see the Crypto.com logo pop up basically everywhere. So really guys, a beautiful partnership for a very prestigious tournament, and I think this will really also help with retail coming in 2025. Just one day after the UEFA partnership, Cronos Labs launched the alpha mainnet of Cronos ZK AVM, so you could really start trading on their latest chain. And this was quite the milestone because it was also the first independent ZK chain. On day one of Cronos ZK AVM, also today's sponsor WolfSwap went live with trading. Since the launch, they also introduced new elements like, for example, their Wolf token. And if you have a Wolf 404 NFT, you can also start staking to earn more Moon tokens or get, for example, free gasless transactions. You can find the link to WolfSwap in the description down below. But let's continue with the month of August, because you might think after all that bullish news with ZK AVM, with the Champions League, that the CRO price must go up, right? Well, you couldn't really be more wrong, because on August 6th, we did set a new yearly low for the CRO price. And we did get a small blip here on August 14th after the UEFA announcement, but really the trend was still down. September started in the same bearish trajectory. However, after September 6th, everything completely changed because Bitcoin was ready for a reversal. And you can really see that September closed the month really beautifully for Bitcoin. However, Cronos could not keep up. Cronos kept dipping into September after Bitcoin saw its light. And that's also when Cronos Bitcoin, the valuation of their own pair, started dipping really rapidly here. The overall narrative was really Bitcoin focused at the time, so altcoins started bleeding. And also, unfortunately, Cronos ZK AVM did not bring back the momentum that Cronos chain really needed. So overall, Cronos kept bleeding and bleeding. The new bullish momentum for Bitcoin in September was caused by the Federal Reserve cutting rates for the first time since their battle against inflation. And really, this has started the era of easing. The US inflation data was looking very good. And with the expectation of quantitative easing, so starting up the money printer again, the Bitcoin bull narrative was completely back. October, therefore, was also very bullish, bringing us back to the previous all-time high with pumping about 20%. Cronos, though, was really disappointing in October, dropping about 20% in the opposite direction. This can partially be explained by Crypto.com getting a Wells notice from the SEC, and also Crypto.com suing the SEC following. And what we have seen from, for example, XRP and Ripple, is that these lawsuits can take very long and be very costly, so very bearish news. The rest of October, people really only seem to care about the US election with Trump versus Harris. And while Harris started quite strong in October, November proved otherwise. On the 5th of November, Donald J. Trump won the US presidential election, even with the popular vote. And this really was the final nudge that Bitcoin needed to start pumping really to new all-time highs. To many, this was no surprise because Donald J. Trump was speaking at the Bitcoin conference just in July a few months earlier and was promising a lot of positive policies for people that like crypto. It did seem that Crypto.com was prepared for this outcome because only hours after the election result, Crypto.com released their roadmap for 2024 and 2025, with a few huge milestones coming up, for example, exchange expansion into the US, Cronos ETF submissions, and a lot more. And not only Crypto.com released their roadmap, but also Cronos Labs. And more about that, guys, in a future video, so make sure you are subscribed. But for example here, the new token burns were super bullish news. This time around, the news did create a lot of price action for the CRO token because the token went up about 230% in just a few days. Crypto.com also kept delivering in November, for example, with the Crypto.com Showdown, with the first ever crypto prize for the golf sports. And while Cronos and Crypto.com were doing absolutely great, on the other side, Bitcoin was also attempting its first try at breaking the 100k level, a very important psychological milestone. Unfortunately though, they had to wait only a few more days because in December, they actually did break 100k for the first time. On December 17th, Bitcoin had its highest daily close of 2024, setting a new all-time high at $108,000 for one Bitcoin. And also Cronos was doing quite well up until that point. After that though, it did seem that Bitcoin and Cronos did need a little breather because, well, they've been going up quite heavily in the last part really of 2024. So time to reset. Make sure the stochastics also get some time to reset so it can get higher highs in 2025. And why do I think we'll see a new all-time high for CRO in 2025? Well, mainly because of things like this, ladies and gentlemen. So here, a meeting between Chris, CEO of Crypto.com, and Donald J. Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And just mention here, honored to have a seat at the table. So really bullish news. Also, with that meeting, they did announce they will not longer sue the SEC. So they will drew that one. And also here, guys, this tweet is, I think, very clear. The path to victory is clear. Some see it now, others will see it later. And that is all okay. And personally, I'm seeing it already. And also data is backing it up. For example, here, with Albert the Void saying that Crypto.com ended the year with more and more record-breaking numbers. For example, $300 billion worth of exchange volume in the month of December alone. So really, guys, this has been a record-breaking year for Crypto.com, and I think more records will get broken in 2025 as well. So looking very bullish. I do have to say that I don't have a crystal ball. I only have this 8-ball here, so I can't really predict the future, of course, so no financial advice. But overall, to me personally, the future is definitely looking bright. So looking forward to a great 2025. Let me know down in the comments what you are really thinking about 2024. What was your favorite moment in 2024 in relation to Cronos, Crypto.com, or the broader crypto market? Or what do you think was really bad about 2024? Because I think from those things we can also learn together. Maybe some bad investment advice. Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to learn more, guys, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more, because in 2024 and 2025, of course, we will come back with more and more and more CRO content. So make sure you also check out this video here with the time to buy for December. See you guys in the new year.